One more time. Okay, so I got the Mustang. It's the next morning and I am taking this car to Rockwall, Texas. I heard there's a lot of nice scenery there. It is raining, so I'll see if I can get really good footage of this car. We'll see how this does in the rain. I'm probably gonna go preferably very slow. Imagine a truck trying to take this exit right behind us.
1,000 feet, turn right on Summerly Drive. Summerly Drive.
Yeah, I could see myself driving this as well.
Yeah, it's a nice view. I like the seats. You know, they hold you in. The only thing is, I wish the rear, like the side view mirrors were a little
so
bigger
tiny
for how fat this car is.
Yeah, you can't see out the mirrors.
I wish this was just a little bit wide, like bigger
the
too.
Mirror, yeah. The rear view.
Because
Yeah,
it's like you have to
tiny.
like fully go like this for you to like look at the car.
Yeah.
This like test drive, yeah, I would buy it. No hesitation. Only thing is side view.
Mirrors.
Side view mirrors, the rear view mirror, and then also blind spots are pretty bad. It also has like road presence, which is good.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, I like the tech features in this. I like the little touches even on the belt, like
on the boat. Oh yeah, I like that this isn't the like gloss black, so this won't.
Yeah, it doesn't
stains.
give it like that cheap look. It looks very like
Premium.
premium, sporty, even on the inside, which I love.
Yeah.
Turn right,
Because
then
if a
turn
car
right.
is sporty, you gotta make it look and feel sporty.
Okay, so I'm in the Mustang GT. This is the last day. I'm dropping it off now. I've gotten a lot of insight after driving it for the past, I guess, almost 3 days. What I would say about this car is that it's actually a lot different compared to the EcoBoost because of the V8. They're basically almost identical cars. They serve two different purposes. This car is more of the loud, rowdy car. Maybe I should get on the highway before I keep talking, but right now I'm actually heading back to drop off this car, but I'm actually gonna go back to the Ferris wheel location because I actually wanna get some more videos of this car because when I took the photo, it actually didn't focus. So the whole photo is blurry. What I've noticed about this car is that it's really heavy in the front. Obviously, like I looked it up, it's like about 400 pounds heavier than the EcoBoost, and all that weight is mostly in the front. Whenever you're going really fast in this car, I think that you kind of feel like you don't want to overdo it because it can lose control way more than the EcoBoost can, just because it has so much power coming in at once, so much heavier weight, and obviously it's a rear-wheel drive car. It's still a muscle car at the end of the day. Like, yes, I know it's more of a sports car now in its DNA, but this one is still a muscle car. And I was thinking, if I owned this Mustang, would I feel comfortable taking this to work? And I told myself, well, kind of a little early to work, then sure, I would love to take this car because I feel like this is more of a cruising car where you're not going to drive it super aggressively all the time. You just want to hear the V8 soundtrack, and I think that's the main purpose of this car, is to feel heavy, feel that muscle car, kind of like that classic feeling that you're in a big vehicle with a lot of power, a lot of sound. When you want to put the power down, that's when this car really isn't applying it all the time. It does get a little squirrely. I've floored it at lights, and I've noticed that this car veers to the right sometimes, veers to the left a little bit. Thanks to stability, it will fix itself. But I noticed that if you're really trying to drive aggressive with this car, you might lose control. And I mean, we have seen videos, right, of Mustangs that go into the crowd, right? And I think those are mostly probably the more powerful cars where they have a bit of oversteer and you're thinking you're going straight, and maybe someone gives you a little love tap from behind, and maybe you end up losing control if you're going too fast, especially on Dallas roads, especially on their highways like 635, a lot of crazy drivers. So I think that's one of my fears, is that if I'm, you know, going 60 to 80 and I'm zooming up, and then there's some crazy driver coming through and they like just tap me a little bit from the back, I don't know how easy this car could be to fishtail and lose control. And since there's a lot of weight up front, I don't know how it would perform in that kind of situation. With the EcoBoost, I felt very confident through turns where it felt very nimble, surprisingly. It weighs closer to 3,600 pounds, while this weighs closer to 3,900 pounds. So almost 4,000 pounds for the Mustang GT. I love every second of this car. I love the ride. I love how violent it sounds when I get on throttle. I love that even when I'm going slow, I can hear the V8, and I don't even play music in this car because I just want to hear the V8 roar. But if I'm late to work, or it's raining a little bit and it's a little damp on the road, I would go slow in this car. I would not question it. Maybe there's someone who can really handle the V8 and go really aggressive on this car, but personally, if you're late to work, I wouldn't speed in this car because I feel like it might be easier to lose control. It's more of a show car where it's fun to drive around. It's fun to like rev the engine. So if you're looking for a car that you want to drive every day, this might have some sacrifices. This car has about a 215 mile gas tank, and that's a really small tank. Like driving only 200 miles and you got to fill up again. Yes, it is a sports car, so you kind of have to deal with that. You got to live with that life, but I know the EcoBoost gets much better gas mileage. It's around like 15, 16 miles to the gallon, depending on how heavy your foot is. And pretty much like the EcoBoost is going to get you 23 to 25 with mixed driving, and I think that's going to make a lot of difference for a lot of people. Some people want a quick car that gets them to point A to B quickly and they don't have to worry about the weight of the car, and for other people, they just want the loud, rowdy like feeling of a sports car, a muscle car, and this GT is going to give that to you. You're going to miss out if you get the EcoBoost. You're not going to hear a good, nice engine note that you're expecting in like a Mustang. You have to mentally go into this different. Personally, I think this would be my weekend car. I would love to drive this on the weekend when it's a sunny day. I like that I don't feel like I want to put an exhaust on this car. I feel like it's loud enough for me. I don't think I need to really modify it too much. I would enjoy this just as it came. While the EcoBoost, I think I would put an exhaust on it. I might do some modifications to it just to kind of get more oomph out of it, more of a feeling of a sports car, because it's really quiet, it's very quick, it's much lighter on its feet. While this car, when you floor it at a light or you're driving aggressively, it's spinning the tires, it's spinning the rear tires trying to grab traction, and sometimes the car is swaying a little left to the right. At the same time, I just love this car's exhaust note. Like, if I wanted a sports car, it's not for efficiency or how quiet or how quick it is. It's more of the rowdiness of like how loud it can get, how fun it can be. Like, this car has put a smile on my face the whole time I've been driving it. The amount of times I'm laughing just from hearing the exhaust note, it just tells me how much I would enjoy this car if I owned it. I just floored it and it lost a little control. It swayed a bit. It swayed a little to the left, and then I think stability kicked in and brought it to the right. And that's the problem with this car. The problem is that if you're trying to drive it on a day-to-day basis, especially in traffic and things like that, it is not the most, I'd say, safe car in staying stable. Because of the nature of this car of being more of a fun car, it's a little scary. And I think coming from like Honda Accords, Toyota Camrys, coming from a lot of 4-cylinder cars I've driven in my life, this is one of the first V8s I've driven, and it's a lot in the rear wheels. I mean, I couldn't imagine people who are driving 600, 2000 horsepower cars, but this car does have the power. It just doesn't have the traction to put it down to the wheels, because sometimes it'll lose control. And when there's a lot of small lanes, you don't want that. The more power you have, the more easier it's going to be to lose control. Because even when I just like lightly tap the gas when it's a little wet on the ground, this thing could not plant. I get it, the tires are probably cold, but still, this car, you want to drive it slow most of the time while you're owning it. That's my personal experience. And I've noticed a lot of times whenever it used to rain, I would notice that I'm driving my car maybe close to the speed limit, maybe 10 below, but I would notice a sports car like this, like a GT, going maybe 20 miles per hour in the rain. And now that I'm driving it, I kind of understand why. Because like right now, I want to floor it so badly to hear the exhaust and get that rush, but I know that I could lose control. And then a lot of these drivers can't stay in their lane, right? And this is a pretty wide car, so that is a bit of a bad combo when you're driving in very heavy traffic, because you're not always going to be on the highway. And a lot of times, if you have a lot of highways with a lot of traffic on it, you're not going to go fast in this car. You're going to go out a lot slower than a lot of regular cars because of the capabilities of this car. The more capable a car is, the more it's capable of losing control. Alright, I don't know if these are auto-sensing wipers. They are going a little too fast. I like it when it's really slow, but that's fine. They're very quiet wipers, and it covers a good amount of the windshield, so no issues here. But we've made it to the colony, and the Ferris wheel is right there. Made it to the Ferris wheel, and hopefully we can get a little bit of some good clips. Right now, it is good on the throttle. The tires actually got grip when I gave a little more power than before, so maybe the tires just had to warm up a bit. Alright, so we're back at that same location here, and I'm gonna see if I can get the focus in this time. You can get a photo this time where it's not blurry and it's actually in focus. I'm gonna get ready to drop it back off. It is raining a little bit more than before, but not too bad, not storming. So we got some videos with the Ferris wheel. It's a great attraction to get some videos with. Now I'm gonna fill up gas, and I mean, honestly, I didn't go that far to where I could fill up the full tank, which is good. I like this little sculpture here. I remember last time I came, it was red. So yeah, changes colors.
Turn left onto Travis Street.
Yeah, even though it's raining, like the brakes are good. Let's come to a full stop here. I think it stops at a decent time. You just got to be really careful because it has a long nose. Can you imagine if I floored it through this turn? I'd probably slide into the sidewalk over here.
Turn right onto Trinity Drive.
Definitely want to watch videos of someone drifting this car because it does have the drift brake here. And yeah, I'm really curious how they would do. Just gentle on it. Okay, let's see, give it a little throttle and
Quarter mile. Turn right
not
onto
bad.
Davis Parkway.
I think the tire is warmed up too, so maybe that's why it's getting more traction right now than before, because it was just sliding all over the place and I was like, oh my god, I would not be able to drive this car. It gives you a lot of creature comforts that other sports cars kind of lack. It has all the tech that you want. It has Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, so it's wireless Apple CarPlay, so you don't have to hook up the wire if you don't want to. I just like it because you get to charge the phone at the same time. It has wireless charging too.
Continue on Winchton Parkway for 1.5 miles.
But yeah, good thing I moved over. I think there's a big puddle on the right side. And I do not want to hydroplane in a Mustang. I just feel like those two would not go well together. Overall, the ride is very comfortable. The seats are very nice too. I don't feel any strain on my back. I do notice that it kind of has sometimes where, not like a belly flop, but it kind of like jumps up and down a little bit every time you're going through bumps, much more than the EcoBoost. The EcoBoost has much more of a smoother ride, and it could be just because there's so much weight up front that every time I go over a dip or something, it just kind of shakes the car around a lot. It's not too noticeable, like you're not going to find it very annoying. It's just a subtle difference because I'm going back from the EcoBoost to this car. I love all the buttons that are right here, convenient. The Mustang app where you can go change all the colors, you can customize it, go red all the way to orange and blue and purple. I think it's really nice that you can customize it, so sometimes if this car is getting a little stale, you can change up the looks, you can change up the speedometer color or the cluster theme. You can change it to something that's fresh, just so you're not like just used to the same kind of dash. I do wish that these two were a little bit bigger, but I get it, the size of the screen. Like, even though this black plastic looks like it's much bigger, the screen's just about this size, so it's probably just the same size as the standard model that has the two little tablets, but the black plastic making it look much wider than it is. Actually, correction, I'm pretty sure this screen is bigger than the base model, and if I were looking at the Mustang, I would get the premium. Don't get the base, get the one that's a little nicer. And that's what I would recommend. Alright, we made it to the gas station, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up this car. Alright, so for my final verdict, I would say that you're gonna pick the Mustang GT if you're gonna drive this mostly on the weekends or if you don't have a long commute, because in heavy traffic, especially when everyone's going super fast with 4 or 5 lanes and everyone's changing lanes all over the place, I think it's just gonna be a lot of chaos, and you don't want to get to work all tired because you've been trying to focus on not trying to get your Mustang GT hit by someone. I think the EcoBoost is a much better car for daily commuting, and I think the GT is more of a fun, rowdy car for the weekend, as I've been saying in the past 2 videos. And I think that if you want to get something that's fun and fast, maybe go for something a little lighter or something that is able to put down the power more. Obviously, you can change out the tires and things like that, but try to look at the EcoBoost and think about, are you going to go for more fuel efficiency and being able to drive fast all the time, or if you want a car that's just loud and fun, then go for the GT. And personally, I would pick the Mustang GT. I think that It's just something where it has a lot of character, it makes me laugh all the time, and honestly, that's why I'm gonna get a sports car. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Final rev. Oh, I'm gonna miss that. One more time. I gotta do it one more time. Is that a Lancer Evolution? Or is that like an actual Evo, or is that just a regular Lancer? Oh wow, it's an actual Evo. Oh my god. That's crazy. Just seeing a random Lancer Evo here. Lancer Evolution is actually one of my favorite cars.